Right, wicked. So I guess deep breath, jazz hands. Hello, 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 hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good times, whatever time it is, and wherever you are listening. Joined me as always, Mr. Chris Cute.
Hiya, kids. How are you?
And Mr. Jamie Page.
How you doing?
He's still got that robo kind of light laser thing going on there.
Disco
Jamie.
Inferno, mate. Disco Inferno.
I look like, actually, I've just realised I've got this ring light on. I look like I'm in some kind of Swedish sauna because my beacon on the off. I've got to either start wearing a hat or grow my hair a bit longer. So apologies for anyone that I'm blinding.
Everybody on SoundCloud, it is exactly how you are currently thinking about that in your head. That's exactly what it looks like. Anyway.
Oh, so how is everyone this week? How are you getting on?
Yeah. Not bad.
Not really getting on, but hanging in. Doing. I'm hanging in. Tough year, tough times, but I'm hanging in.
I actually took on a special delivery with regards to today's subject. Actually,
you did. What is it?
I've actually got it in the workshop with me. It's actually one of Sean Evely's barrel coasters, which has been signed at the back. So I'd like to do a quick online review, and it's a big double thumbs up, Sean. It's quality work, my friend.
2 thumbs fresh. That's got to be. That's a 2-thumb review if ever I saw one.
Way to go, Sean. Way to go, Sean.
For anyone listening, Jamie's reviews only go to 2 for obvious reasons.
I've only got 2 thumbs.
Exactly.
And you don't want to see my feet.
Yeah, no, we don't. Don't even tempt him because I don't want to see. I don't want to see his nasty. I want to see his nasty ass toe jam. I don't want to see that.
Anyway, we'll just haul this back in again. I was just about to say, Jamie, what is going on in your workshop? I'm looking at what looks like either something out of Space Odyssey 2000 or the X-Files, or possibly some kind of R-rated 70s.
I kind of went mad with the lights, didn't I?
Well, Mad is, I think Mad works.
It's a discotheque. It's like, he's got music and girls coming after the show. He's coming.
Yeah. I put up a security camera and thought I'd just whack a few lights up while I was there.
A few. Okay.
Well, maybe a little bit more than a few.
If any of you on SoundCloud or any whatever your audio file is, be grateful if you're on LSD at this moment that you can't see Jamie's freaking screen because you're going to be going, "Whoa, dude!"
You can always subscribe to my channel and watch me do some turning with these lights on.
Oh my God, no!
I think unique actually. I've not seen. I mean, it's a little bit like Joe's backdrop
celebration video.
Kind of on another level, literally. It's very.
Oh yeah, and it's a level I never hope to get to. Anyway,
not since the late '60s, anyway.
Yeah,
make love, not war, dude.
Exactly. Cool. Well, are we kind of? I guess better start the show. I know we've got questions because I've seen a few of them briefly, and I did mean briefly. I haven't read them into any real depth. But before we get into our topic this evening, which might need a little bit of kind of a backstory, should we go through our sponsors? Because as always, tonight's show is brought to you in part by Yorkshire Grit, the Woodturners Abrasive Paste, our good friend Chad at Mancrafting, Pam at Highland Boxes, and also Steve Harneal Media, who does all the website and the tech stuff. Jamie's obviously now doing the techno stuff. I had no idea what's good. Jamie, that's just going to be so off-putting.
Meaning he does no tech stuff, yeah.
That as well, yes. It was the lights. It just again, like if I just stop talking for a while or my screen freezes, it's probably just me having some kind of psychotic episode
moment
brought on by those lights. But yeah, that's not something anyone wants to see. But if you do want to see more about our sponsors, then head on over to the website, makersinternationalpodcast.com/sponsors, and Jamie will make sure that it's safe to see on the website, I'm sure. Chris, do you want to go through questions, or should we kind of just talk about the backstory? Because I kind of feel like this is your fault, this topic.
No, it's not my fault. I mean, don't blame me on this one, Morley. I didn't come up with this. But we have questions. we have questions. Yes, of course. We have a lot of questions this week. Andy Pugh, our resident guru of questions, is not the only one who was inquisitive this week. So we have those to get to. But if you want to talk about what the premise of this show is and kind of give the backstory, then Mr. Morley,
I mean,
the floor is yours.
So cast your minds back, if you will. When I was
oh God, here we go. Rod Serling in the
pull up a chair.
Rod
Make
Serling in the wall. Imagine if you can.
Long story short, I do actually occasionally listen to these shows. I don't know why now, but one of the episodes that I wasn't here, Chris said you did your shout out for me, and I remember you saying at the time, Chris, Richard's never going to believe this, and he's going to go, what on earth's happening? And I literally, as I was listening to it, what on earth's happening? Because I did a video about some stuff that I bought online as a result of recommendations, and not reviews per se, but recommendations from well respected and well regarded individuals on UK tradesmen on Instagram of a product, and I purchased it, and I didn't think it was all that. So long story short, I ended up sending it back, getting an alternative, being pleased with the alternative, and the video was kind of about not so much the product, but more the kind of outline to do with that, that's a kind of online reviews.
Right.
Now that doesn't obviously solely rest on just Instagram. It kind of is all inclusive of the internet. When you've only got to look at eBay and Amazon if you want to go back that far on TVs and all the crazy things you can buy on those. The reviews are a big part of it. Trustpilot's a big thing on the internet if you're shopping from kind of online retailers as well. But I sort of wanted to drill it back into our environment and make it a little bit more specific to kind of tools and stuff that we sort of interested
our kind of social media medium, which would probably include Facebook, obviously YouTube, Instagram, maybe even Reddit. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a Reddit account. I don't plan on getting one because I've heard horrible things about the place, but I'm not on Instagram, but I know there are a lot of people are, and I know a lot of people do reviews on Instagram, and Facebook. I've seen a few on Facebook as well, but in that genre is kind of where we're talking today. It doesn't necessarily mean the third party retailer that you see a review from. It's more of the individual telling you this is the best thing since sliced bread, and then you decide for yourself whether it is or not.
Just very quickly, I mean, I've done quite a few over my time on YouTube and my channel. Have you done any product reviews on your channel, Chris and Jamie?
I have. It depends, because, and that's one of the questions we have coming up, and I don't know if I can say I've actually done a product review. I've done a couple product unboxings that, in both cases, I had purchased the product myself, but I only did the video because I thought others may be looking at this piece of equipment thinking it would be worth their money, and I gave my honest opinion on it. And it was, that I was under no constraints, and so people should not have felt weird about that. I did one product, I don't know if it would be a review. It was more of an example of how to use it than it was more of a review. And I believed in the product when it was given to me, because it was given to me, but I believed in it when I got it, and when I used it, it worked as it was advertised. And I made that clear in the video, but it wasn't because the product was given to me. Because to be honest with you, if you give me a product, that doesn't mean I'm going to do an entire video around your product. If you give me a product, I might give you some screen time. Because I'm just not about that, and I've never been paid. Let's put it this way. I've never been paid to do a video. So in that sense, Richard, no, I have never taken money to do a review or anything like that. It's either been my own money in an honest review, or in that one instance, I was given something to do a review on, and I did it only because I believed in it. So there you go.
Sure. I mean, Jamie, you're sat there shaking your head profusely.
I mean, I've never. I don't think I've ever done a video where I've turned around and given an opinion to say, yes, you should go and buy this. No, you shouldn't.
Right.
I've done unboxing videos and used the products. Some have been given to me, some haven't. But yeah, that's probably to the extent as what I've ever done.
What about you, Richard?
I mean, so I've done quite a few reviews. I've never, just like you, Chris, I've never been paid by a company to do a review. I have been sent stuff before, and actually, if you look on my channel, actually in the about now, because I changed it a couple of weeks ago, purely off nothing to do with tonight's topic, but fairly recently I changed it to indicate that there are 3 brands, 3 companies that support my channel. And I use those words quite carefully. I pick those words quite carefully because they don't pay me. I don't take a penny for stuff. They'll send me something. What do you think? Use it in the videos. Tell us what you think, and be honest. And that for me is the most important thing. It's the whole. And I always say this to companies. You know, if you want to send me something and ask my opinion, fair play to you, because you'll get it whether you like it or not. So first and foremost, I'm going to be honest, and secondly, you better have faith in your product, because if you think for a second it might not be up to standard, I might well agree with you. And there have actually been 2 reviews that I can think of where I've not aired them, shall we say. You'll never know who they were, although some people might guess the companies. They'll never see the light of day. They never even really got recorded, because I just contacted the company and said, you're not going to like it. Should we just stop now and save myself the effort as well as you?
And take your product.
That's what happened.
And please take your product back. Well, let me ask you a question. And I want to hit the knockout punch to begin with, just so we can get this out of the way, because we had a question from Chris Smith. And it's Chris.
Oh, Chris from last week. Hi, Chris.
Yeah, Chris from last week. And he asked the upfront, bold question that a lot of people are hoping we'll address. But trust me, Chris, we're not going to get into particulars. He flat out says, are there makers on YouTube who you think have sold out? And I have an answer. I have an answer for Chris. My answer, I'll let Richard and Jamie speak for themselves. Chris, you're really going to have to define what sold out means, because I have seen, I've seen video creators do advertisements on their channel, which you ordinarily wouldn't think would fit, but I've understood that it's because they're trying to get $1 in the door. And it's no different than watching television and seeing a bit of a commercial. I mean, I don't pay anything and you don't pay anything to see their content and what they're putting out. So am I going to get my rear end in an uproar because they decided to take 60 seconds of my time to try to make some money for themselves? No. And I don't consider that selling out. If you do, then I'd ask you to kind of reconsider your thinking on that, because these are just people trying to make some money. And it's easy to ignore the ones that don't belong. And, you know, I think we talked about this earlier, and I'll even bring up the product, but I'm not going to bring up people. The Casper mattress ads that we all saw 2 or 3 years ago that people were doing. Now, granted, you're not going to tune into a woodworking video to see a Casper mattress ad, but you have to give the people a break that did those ads, because they obviously did it to get some money in the door, because they were paid to do that. And I can live with that. If you consider that selling out, then I would question your judgment on selling out. Outside of that, no, I really haven't seen anybody who I would call a sellout. I've never seen somebody, no, I haven't. That's my answer. I'll let Richard and Jamie answer that one on their own.
You basically just said exactly what I was going to say, especially when it comes to the Casper mattress kind of deal, especially on a woodworking show or metalworking show. If they're actually making a bed, you're more inclined to see it.
Yeah, well, that's fine. That would be fine.
Or you can see dog food if they're making a dog bed or a dog house or something like that. You know,
if it relates to the video, yeah.
If it relates to the video, then of course you're likely to see it. You know, but there's some things it's like, what's that doing on here?
Yeah. So just to kind of clarify, I do not disagree with anything that you both said at all. I would 100% agree with you. You got to pay the bills. Period. Chris is saying in the chat at the moment. He's actually in the chat again. Hi, Chris. Not so much he's talking about kind of sponsors and that kind of side of what he really is referring to. As he said, is and I'll quote him. I mean, blatant lying about products. Now, that's calling a spade a spade. I wouldn't. I mean, it's difficult for me to say whether I think somebody is lying or not. Do I disagree with some of the reviews? Yes.
Yes.
That might have just been a difference of opinion. Because this is the other thing: is when you review something, you're offering your opinion, and we all know the similarities between where we sit and where we opinionate. Everyone's got one, and they're not all the same. That's kind of the key thing, and I don't think that's cause for friction. Whether it was deliberate or not, I mean, I'd like to give people the benefit of the doubt. What I've always thought is difficult, and I can honestly say, and I'll be honest about this, it is tempting, not to lie, don't get me wrong, let me finish, to kind of get carried away. And if all goes well with a company for one thing, then the what's the word I'm looking for? Not the opinion, the potential there is for other things to happen down the road. And if you're sitting there thinking, oh, if this goes well, this could be, I could get more stuff. So there is, I guess, temptation for people to kind of get carried away and run with it. I mean, I've not done it personally. I'll say that hand on heart. I've actually always been the opinion, if somebody sends me junk, why would I say it's anything but junk in the hope to get more junk? That was, because then I've just got to get rid of it.
My only response to that is, and hand to heart here, honestly, anybody who's really serious about this and even has stepped back and thought about it and has gotten over the excitement that, woohoo, somebody sent me some free stuff that may be worth £20 or $20, and I'm going to do an entire video about this because I'm now a big shot. It's like, guys, look, you know what? Let me collect my thoughts on that because I'm going to come back to that. It's one of those things where you've got to kind of look at it as a viewer and notice the difference between what is going on. Because here's a bottom line you can use as a starting point. You get what you pay for. Okay? Mm-hmm. You get what you pay for. If you think that there is the best thing that's ever been sold along this line, I don't care if it's a tool or whatever it is, and then it costs like 3 times less what the leading manufacturer sells theirs for, I'm going to guess that there's a reason for it costing 3 times less. Okay? I'm just like, it's common sense, guys. I mean, so if you happen to come across somebody who's doing that kind of thing I mentioned, keep that in mind. You're the viewer. It doesn't, it's like, my whole point to that is people that do that kind of thing because they hope to get more product, like Richard was saying, and hey, I got this crappy product, I'm going to get more crappy product if I give it a good review. They're only damaging themselves because everybody who has been sitting back and has been rationally thinking about this knows they're going to be damaging their own credibility with you, and you are their, let's be honest, that's what they're trying to sell, you. And if you stop watching their videos and unsubscribe to their channel or quit following their Instagram or whatever the case may be, they have a lot less credibility. And people who do that kind of stuff really got to think about their credibility before they go do that. And for $20 worth of something free that was sent to you, is that really worth it? I mean, think about it.
What you've also got to remember is once if someone buys something from you and you've obviously lied to them or whatever, it's very, very hard to, once you've lost that trust, to regain it. If you want to do another review, you'll never get it back.
You'll never get it back.
No one will believe you.
You're absolutely right, and that's I think a misconception from reviewers, YouTubers, influencers, if you want to use that word, like people like us, people like you, the listener, who potentially or possibly aren't in the position where you might be doing the reviews, and also the companies offering the goods up. So from all 3 sides of the triangle, there's potential damage caused by any one side of that, based on a difference of A, opinion, B, settings and all the rest of it. And that's really, it's really difficult to earn that trust back again.
Honestly, I don't think you ever will. Quite frankly,
No.
and let me move on to. We have some more. We have a ton of questions today, and so Chris, thank you for that one. And if we can get back to your other one, I'll be happy to do so. But we have our resident inquisitor who has a question, and then he has a follow-up question that if we can get through this, they might do us some good. He says, if giving an online review, how do you convince your audience that your review is honest and reliable? So as a creator, if you are a creator and you're doing a review of a product and you fervently believe in this product and there's no BS involved, how do you convince your viewers that it is what you say it is? And I'll let you guys take it from there. I've got my own.
Right off the bat, I don't think you can.
There's always going to be that little piece, isn't there, Jamie?
Yeah.
There's always going to be that little segment.
It's kind of like
that makes people wonder. I don't care if it's
yeah.
10% out of 100. There's always going to be that one little piece.
Yeah, there's always going to be that bit of doubt. I think.
And also, there's always going to be that person who's just whatever you say, and however you say it, they're never going to believe you.
Yeah,
that's true.
And that's fine. I'm not saying that they're in the wrong or someone else in the right. That's just the way it is. I mean, that's life. There's always going to be somebody that doesn't believe what you tell them, regardless of what you think. You medicine. I'll just say medicine and leave you to fill in the blanks on that one. Yeah, that's the way of the world. For me personally, I think it's really, really hard. And I've actually, in the last couple of years, completely changed how I kind of think about reviews and how I plan reviews and ultimately how I execute them as well. Originally, it would be, and I'm kind of referring back to a comment that Andy made. He doesn't like it when people call it an unboxing, when people call an unboxing
a review. I agree with him. And I agree 100% with that.
I do, because I think both are very valid and both are completely different. I mean, I know a lot of people don't see any relevance or place for an unboxing video other than just a reason to do a video. But I've found a lot of use in just unboxing videos before, because I think, well, what comes with it? Because the seller online, what are
you getting?
What comes in the box? That is important to me, especially when you're looking at half a dozen different suppliers and there are half a dozen different prices, and sometimes they're anything from £20 to £100 difference. There's got to be something that more than just somebody's markup is. So unboxings, I think, do have their place. They can be really irrelevant, to be perfectly honest, but that's down to the person doing it. And there's plenty of videos out there to find other people to do review or opinions. So
let me give you.
Sorry, Chris. I just remember I did actually do a review on my channel. It was actually of my lathe, but I didn't do an unboxing of it. What I actually did, I actually done a kind of a collaboration, if you like, with Dale when Dale came down to the workshop. So I actually waited an entire year of using my lathe before I did a review on my lathe. But Dale was thinking about getting a Coronet Herald. So at the same time, he done a first thoughts, and at the same time, I done a year in review. So I gave my impressions of what I thought it was like over the year I've been using it, and he was like, "Well, this is what it's like. What do you think?"
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's it's kind of hard to question the integrity behind that, Jamie. I mean, that's very well done then.
So I have actually seen people that's opened up a box, turned it on, and went, "Well, this is my review of it."
No, that's not good.
You can't do that. You need to put it for its paces.
The two I guess you'd call them unboxing videos. I guess that's what they were. Once again, were units that I bought with my own money. So I had no qualms with the company. I didn't care. And if they told me they didn't like my review, I'd tell them, to kiss it, because it's my own money. I bought it, sorry. And it was, and one of them was a Rikon combination belt and disc sander, and the other one was a Bosch router and router table. And in each one of those unboxings, once I had it up, and I had it running. But with the Bosch router table itself, I had a problem with that router table as I was assembling it that I foresaw problems in the future, and I mentioned it. And the unboxings and the assembly of tools and things of that nature can be helpful if you're looking to get into it and you want to see what you're getting into. Because if you don't feel up to putting something together, then watching somebody else do it may make you go, oh, I don't really want that because that's just too much work setting it up and it seems crazy and I don't want to do that. So that's helpful. Outside of that, it is just that. I took it out of the box. I put it together, let you know what I thought about when I put it together. I turned it on. It apparently works. I've tried it for this and I like this. I don't like this. There you go. But it cannot be viewed as a review. I mean, it's a brand new tool. I haven't even had time to use it yet. So, how can you give a review on that? I mean, I don't see it. I would question anybody who puts out a review video on something they're taking out of a box. I mean, it's like, come on.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times.
Well, so have I, but you can't really do that. I mean, I'm sorry. It's ironic. You just can't do it.
Interesting that you say about having your lathe as it was, or that review item for a year, Jamie. I just had a quick look back through my phone whilst you were talking. I started working with a power tool company. I won't name the name, not because just go and look on my YouTube channel or my Instagram and it'll be immediately obvious which tool company it is. I started using their tools. I started speaking with them in February of 2018, and I got the first couple of tools in March of 2018. I haven't done a review video yet. It's now November. It's nearly 2 years. It's a year and 9 months later. I've had those tools a year and 9 months. And yes, I like them, but I've been putting footage together of me actually using those tools at work, on site, in clients' homes, in the workshop. They've appeared in other videos that weren't about those particular tools, almost as a confidence builder for people, if nothing else. Because if they were rubbish, I wouldn't use them. I wouldn't need to, because
we'd never see them.
and you might see them for a little while, but not for very long. But that footage is all being racked up of various jobs, because I personally, and this is what I was saying about the kind of the way I think about reviews and the way I execute them now. If you, in a video, it's obvious because I'm older, I'm different, my van's changed. There's all these differences within, because it's spread over 2 years. The only constant in there should be those tools. Does that make sense? And if that was me, that would give me confidence about them being used. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no.
The downside is you've got a company going, when's this video coming out? But they're not, don't get me wrong, but sometimes companies are. Sometimes there is pressure from companies. We want this out by such and such launch date,
right.
Launch date of product, or
and we want you to say this. Yeah, exactly.
Some of them do think that some of them can sort of steer the boat.
Want you to make sure that you give their tagline, and then I would refuse to do that. But let's take our approach of how we would do it away, okay? Because I mean, honestly, who gives a flying? And put it back.
Hopefully, our viewers.
Well, no, but I mean, in all honesty, it seems very self-serving to sit here and talk about ourselves. And Andy's second part of his question was, actually, I think a better look at this. If you're the one that is taking in the review, you're the one watching the review, how can you judge whether a review is reliable or not? I have answers for this, but this is a laundry list of things that I think really depend on individuals. But I have mine, and how would you assume, taking yourself out of the box, Jamie, and looking at the audience and saying, how are they going to be able to tell if this is reliable or not? What do you say to that?
So if I was looking at a channel and thinking about buying something, I would look at their channel carefully, and I would think, right, how regular are they using that product? How regular is it in their videos? How often do they use it? Has it ever failed at any point?
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of stuff. and if it all kind of checks out, how long have they been using it? And if it all checks out, then after looking at other videos and the same sort of process, looking at reviews online, then I'll possibly go for it.
That's kind of was.
If not, I'll just ask Dale.
Here's what. Okay, if I have any advice to give anybody that would be worth anything, is it would be avoid impulse buying. Just because somebody makes something look really great, and you end up going out and buying it, you may either find that you never use it, you may find that you don't like it, and you're going to end up blaming them, shooting the messenger because of that. And you know what? And you really shouldn't, because at that point in time, you should go look in the mirror as to why you spent the money in the first place. Avoid impulse buying, first of all, would be my first step. But Richard, go ahead.
I think context is really important as well, not just from the point of view of, doing kind of what Jamie was talking about, kind of your kind of background due diligence, for want of a better expression. What other reviews does this person do? Are they trustworthy? Are there anything alarm bells ringing? But also, is that person using it in a similar context to me? I mean, I tend not to go to, person's name DIY channel if I'm looking for a tool that I'm expected to use on a building site for the next 5-10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Equally, I wouldn't go to a such and such building supply channel necessarily for a 3-volt drill that I need just for kind of putting together flat pack furniture, because like you were saying, Chris, if something is 3 times the price, there's a reason it's 3 times the price, and that's not necessarily because one's excellent and one's trash. It could be that one is meant for hard outdoor use daily by a thug in all weathers, whereas another person's probably only use it 3 times a year for 5 years and then never again.
It's the difference between Harbor Freight and Powermatic. Yeah, I mean, it's like,
absolutely.
How are you going to use this?
And that's what gives this is what always makes me laugh about the F word. Tool brand, I mean, not anything else.
Festool. Let's just say it. Festool. They make a quality tool, Richard. I just think they're overpriced. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. Everyone always goes, oh, they're overpriced. And, we won't get into this now, but they're not meant for 90% of the time. The people that are telling me it's just overpriced stuff are not that client base. And they're not the demographic that brand is aiming at,
Right. Gotcha. Because,
So, and in that setting, in that context, Chris, you're absolutely right. They are overpriced for what you want.
Yes, because I would love to have a Domino, but for what I do, it's just too much.
Side quest. I don't know if anyone's seen it. I put out a video today about making some just simple picture frames. That's all they were. I think it was about half a dozen we made. Kat and I, about 3 years ago for Chris, we were giving pictures for Christmas presents, and Kat was like, "You're going to make some picture frames for it," and it was just nicely kind of it was kind of chilled out, and I made it, and they're not complicated. I was using pre-molded. I didn't even have to make the moldings. I bought it all stock molded, and somebody had a pop because they're like, you called it simple picture frames, yet you used a Festool Domino. Come on, Richard. I was just like, it doesn't make it complicated if it just because it's expensive. It makes it expensive, not cheap. Anyway, sorry, I digress. I just thought it was funny.
All right, well, we got a question from a third member who was inquisitive today. Excuse me for the hiccup. And I haven't had that much beer. It's just one of those things. Dale. Now, Dale has 2 questions, and I'm really not sure which one to tackle first here, Dale, because I think they're both quality questions. I think the first one we can probably get by real quick on, so I'll go ahead and do that. The second one I'll ask afterwards. How big of a sample size of reviews do you think you need to have to ensure that you have an informed, real impression of the thing you're researching? Dale, in the format of what we're talking about today, we're not talking about the sample size of reviews. That's kind of more along the lines of what you would look at on a third-party seller, such as like Amazon or something like that. How many people have actually reviewed this product and given it either a favorable or unfavorable? But I mean, and hey, Richard's got his brow scowled, so maybe I'm
maybe
I'm
I agree, and I kind of disagree as well at the same time. Absolutely, yeah. I think that is a very much a kind of eBay, Amazon product, Trustpilot kind of a thing. But I think it still runs true of the YouTube reviews as well.
Well, then, because now you're talking about scrolling through the comments.
Not necessarily. I mean, I think we all remember X-Carves. Everyone with a YouTube channel got an X-Carve 5-6 years ago.
Really?
You and Joe did.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of X-Carves went out, and as a result, there were a lot of X-Carve reviews, weren't there? So I think if
I'm looking for mine. Mine is where Sterling put his.
I'm kind of interpreting Dale's question from that point of view as well, and I think in that instance, the bigger the better, because if you take one person's opinion, you're going to get one opinion. If you take 5 people's opinion, yeah, they might all be the same, but you might get a 3 and a 2 or a 4 and a 1.
Let me ask you a question. If you're the skeptical viewer and you're seeing all these people telling you it's a great product, and are you just checking the boxes going, that's BS, that's BS, that they were giving it, 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 and the review or whatever you want to call it has absolutely zero credence whatsoever. I took that more to be the Amazon people that have bought it and have used it with their own money and are now giving a review.
Yeah, no, totally. That's still valid as well. I mean, in that setting, I don't think necessarily the bought or the given really is necessarily relevant, because let's be honest. I mean, I wouldn't expect to. I mean, I know Joe, I know me, I know my review of the X-Carve was 100% honest from my opinion. That was my opinion, though. I'm expecting that Joe and Steve Carmichael, I'm trying to think of others that had them as well.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I question them, Richard, because we happen to know these gentlemen very personally, yourself and included. And so
totally, there's going to be people that are always, like we've already said, they're just like giving it.
I'm taking it off of us again, and I'm trying to put it on the audience, because I think that's where the focus needs to be. His other question was, what are the warning signals of a bad product that you might look for when you're listening to a reviewer? And I will revert back to the you get what you paid for kind of thing would be the threshold where you start. And I can tell you that I actually bought, and I did exactly what I told you not to do. I had an impulse buy off of a recommendation that a YouTuber put out. And the only reason why I bought it is because I had a need for one. And I ended up buying it, and it turned out to be, it was junk. I mean, and you know what? That's my fault. I didn't. Do I now watch this person's videos when this person gives recommendations and take them to heart? No, I don't. So I mean, as far as reviews go and things I should own, that credibility is gone. I still enjoy the creator, know him, but I'm not going to spend my money based on what that individual has to say anymore. But I think that the first step is look at what you're paying for, first of all, and then second of all, look and ask yourself an honest question: how often are you going to use it? I mean, if it's something you need, then go for it. I mean, it's like going to Harbor Freight and buying like what I did. I bought an angle grinder at Harbor Freight. It cost me $20. I use that thing maybe once a year, so it's going to work fine for me. But if I was a metal worker that was going to use that thing day in and day out, I don't think I would have bought it from Harbor Freight. I honestly don't. I think I would have gone somewhere else. I mean, Jamie, I mean, I don't know. Tell me.
Yeah, I guess another red flag would be if they're recording their video while standing on a pile of ashes. Something's obviously gone wrong there. But they needed to get a video out that week. I don't know. I mean, there's some sort of tells that you can sometimes you can just tell in the tone of their voice and all that kind of stuff that something ain't quite right.
Look at it very objectively, and I'm not saying you should scrutinize everybody in the entire world about it, but look at it objectively and look at it from your own standpoint and see Dale, this is a tough question to ask because, without being able to see, feel, touch, and use, it's really difficult to know if it's going to be worthwhile. And I'm sorry, this will be an edit point from Richard just messaged me and said, did my internet die or did we all crash? Just saying, no, hold on. Let me message him back real quick and then we can pick up where we were because Richard obviously is gone. Oh, never mind. Thank you, Jamie.
Sorry.
All right, picking up in 3, 2, 1. We've got another question I want to ask, and Jamie, I think you and I can discuss this. And it's from Chris Smith again. And Chris, thank you for the question. He wants to know, would you burn bridges, apparently, with somebody who's trying to offer you a product or even pay you for a product? Would you burn bridges by giving a product a slightly negative review?
If I had to. If I was sent something and I didn't believe it was quality product, I'd say so.
But okay, let's put this in perspective. It's Record Power in the UK, okay, and here it would be whoever makes a lot of lathes and things and woodworking tools. But if they let's say they reached out and they said, Jamie, we want to spend X amount of dollars on your channel. We want you to do this with this product, but we want a review on it. But you had something slightly negative to say about it. Do you think the company would balk at that, and that you would no longer ever be asked to do that again, and no longer get a paycheck from them?
Right. So I'll tell you a quick story. Right. So I was approached by Record Power to help them upgrade their scroll saw. And I was working with them for a little while. I haven't heard nothing back because of the whole pandemic, but that's by the by. So when I went up to Sheffield, to the Record Power head office, they were in the process of upgrading their current 16-inch scroll saw. And I went into the offices. They already had 150,000 units made of this upgraded scroll saw.
They had already made it? 150,000?
They already had 150,000 of these units made, right? And I walked in there. They had one in the office ready for its photo shoot on a Thursday, and I was there that weekend before. And I walked in there and they said, can you tell us what you think of that? And I went straight in there and I went, that's crap. That shouldn't be there. That's beep.
Yeah.
Basically, in a matter of words, it's a pile of trash. And they were like, and basically the one guy went and got another guy, and they said, can you tell him what you told him? I told him exactly what I just said, and they basically just stopped production on it there and then.
Really?
There and then. He literally phoned China and stopped production.
Quality company. And even Jake Thompson on the chat said, even a good company is going to take it as constructive criticism. And you know what? And I think that nobody, I mean, even though every company in the world that puts out a product wants you to sing, the rainbow story about how wonderful this thing is, they know in the back of their minds that they have faults with that product because nothing's perfect. And if you happen to point that out, I don't think you're burning any bridges by saying, it's like when I did the I think it was the Bosch router table I did. I love the table. I used the table today. I'm telling you right now, the review I did on that table, not a review, the unboxing of the table, after 2 years of owning it, I love that table. I think it's a great table. My problem with it was that it made the base of the router attached to the base connects to the bottom of the table, okay? And the way they had designed it, it made it very difficult for me to take the router off of the table to use in a handheld fashion. And I said that on the video, and I ended up solving that problem, but it cost me more money, but I solved it by buying a separate base so that all I had to do was unlock the router from the base that was installed in the table, lock it into the extra base that I bought, and use handheld. So, and I mentioned that, so I don't think that if I was being paid by Bosch to do that, they probably would have gone, but then they might have looked at it and gone, you know what? That's a good criticism because it is an actual pain in the butt to take that router out of that table. But once you've got it in there, the router table itself works great. If you want to buy a separate router, go ahead. I didn't want to. I wanted to be able to remove it and then use it and then put it back in, kind of an easy peasy type solution. I was looking for an all-in-one, and that's not what that table was intended for.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Jamie, here's another question, and it's from Andy. Are reviews, in your opinion, actually worth listening to?
Yeah, I think they are. I mean, it's kind of like music on my YouTube channel. It's subjective. Everyone's got a right to an opinion. You don't have to listen to it, but everyone's got that right.
You have to agree with it. I guess my whole problem here is that there seems to be a lot of people that are just waiting to hold something against somebody else.
Yeah.
They're out there just like waiting to say, "Oh, that's BS. This guy's a fraud. This guy's a sellout." It's like, why do you look at stuff like that? Just stop looking at things like that and start just kind of making your own opinion and go on about your life. I mean, why are people sitting out there licking their chops, waiting for someone to fail? I don't get it.
I mean, we can just take the scroll saw for example. I know we joke about it a lot, but obviously I enjoy using the scroll saw. You don't like it as much.
Well, I don't have a good scroll saw.
That's your opinion,
right? Exactly.
Do
we get into fights about it?
No.
Do I never want to see you again?
Well, I don't know about that.
Right. That's true.
We go about our merry little way, and 4 years later we're still doing a podcast.
Yeah,
still arguing about it.
But it's more of a joke now than anything else. Because
of course it is. Yeah.
If it hasn't become obvious, it's like I don't think anything is wrong with scroll sawing. I don't hate guys that scroll saw. I actually admire the time.
You'd rather not use it.
Well, I'd rather not use the one I own. I might. Like you said earlier, you mentioned this once, and I didn't agree with you out loud, but I'll agree with you out loud now. If I actually had a decent scroll saw, I think I could spend some time on a scroll saw. I honestly do, because I think it's very meditative, much like the lathe. When you get in a lathe, it's a very meditative process, and so I could probably do that. I just don't have a lot of patience. That's all. Yeah. And so it would take me 3 times as long to do something as it would you, because my attention span just wouldn't last that long. You do 12-hour sessions, and I would be good for 2. It's like that's
Jake Thompson says he watches reviews on Yorkshire Grit. I'll just say you don't need to. It's awesome.
Oh, well, Yorkshire Grit.
Buy more of it, Jake.
All right, so that was not tough.
Richard.
Well, we answered Andy's last question, which was, can an unboxing an unboxing video really be classified as a review? The answer to that is no, not really. The last thing that we have, the last question, I can't believe we got through all these questions today. And Chris, Andy, Dale, thank you so much for giving us to them. And I'll leave this open to you guys. I'll ask the question and let you answer. Do you think, as YouTubers, you would give a better review, even subconsciously, of a product if you've had it for free? Do you think that even subconsciously, because somebody sent you something for free, would you give it a more favorable review than you would, let's say, if you bought it yourself?
Depends if I'm sitting in the ER.
Oh.
If it took off a couple of fingers, then no, I won't say nothing nice about it.
Honestly, I don't know. I'd like to say no. I don't think my internet's rubbish, isn't it?
That's all right.
No, we still hear you, mate.
I think I would like to say no as well.
Yeah, I'm
but
that way.
But if I was given something, I'll honestly answer this. If I was given something to review, I may come out and say, I don't like it. I don't think it's worth, whatever it is. But I wouldn't give it the blistering review that I would have if it had cost me my money. Mm. So in that sense, yeah, I guess so. But I I don't think I'd be shy about letting my opinion be known. I just don't think I'd be as upset about it.
So, for example, let's say, you picked up a wood turning tool. You could say, well, it's got a nice handle, it's got a nice ferrule on it, but you wouldn't mention the fact that it's got crappy steel.
That you have to sharpen every 2 turns. Yeah.
So the only thing you'll do is you'll point out the good things about it and not mention the bad.
And then once again, you have to kind of, and guys, I mean, if you're watching these videos, you kind of have to. It's hard. It's really hard to look at reviews and decide what is. If you're looking at something like that, Jamie, then you as a viewer, you have to kind of go, what did he leave out? What is not there that should be there, which might be like the most crucial thing, especially for HSS steel. It may be important to know that you can sharpen that and it'll stay sharp for a while. But if he doesn't mention that, then you might want to go, I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen a few videos where it's kind of obvious that they've not mentioned certain things.
All right. Well, you know what? The only thing I had was influence makers, and these are the people that companies want to shield their products. Now, I can tell you that I have several good friends that fall in this category, and fortunately, I just happen to know people that are really great craftsmen, and they've been rewarded for it by getting a lot of popularity. It's not because I'm anything special, because God knows I'm not. But I have several good friends that I would not, because I know them personally, I would not question any recommendation they make. But I know them personally. I'm not a viewer. I know them personally. But I also know people personally, and I have a couple good friends who I know that are just trying to do that, let's get the buck in the door kind of thing. But they aren't, but I can't say that either one of them have ever gone out and tried to make it sound like the best thing since sliced bread. They just did the bare minimum to see if they could get the buck in the door. And it can be hard. Sometimes it can even cost you money if you happen to make your purchases based on this. But, learn the difference between the two. If you can learn the difference between the two, and you know what? The real key to this is rational thinking will tell you the answer to which is which. So, just use your brain, use your own. And then, if you decide to buy a product from somebody and it turns out to be crap, and they're the ones who recommended it to you, do I say hold them faultless? No. But I would say at least look in the mirror and take a look at yourself and say, should you really have done that? I mean, come on.
So Glyn from Yorkshire Grip has put a comment, says, as someone from the other side of the fence, he said, I think I would ask the reviewer not to release a video if it was a scathing one, because it's not happened yet though. But he also said that he wouldn't also stop the video.
Right. Or just because he's a business owner. No business owner wants their product to have a scathing review. I don't blame him for that. Nobody does. If I had a business and I said, would you promote this? And the guy said, well, I'll accept it and I'll do a review on it. And I find out that he's going to give it a harsh review. I don't want him to give it a harsh review. It's my business, for crying out loud. If you don't mind, I'd really rather you put that on the shelf and send me the product back. And hell, here's $20. Here's $20 for not doing it. I mean, I don't care.
I mean, I think with any product, you're likely to get somebody not liking it.
Oh, every product. Yes, everybody has its detractors. It's just game.
That's part of the thing. But as Glyn's kind of alluded to, sometimes you just have to take the rough with the smooth. By saying, well, I'm not going to stop him because that's their prerogative to do that.
Or the original with a microphone.
Yeah, and if you've got a quality product, then you actually have nothing to worry about, because those kind of people are the outliers. They're the people that are just that whatever.
I mean, I know I've had issues with my internet connection. Hopefully they're resolved now. Touch wood. Did you see the comment from, was it Ian in the Shed?
No, I don't think I did, mate.
So there was a comment, a question, just very quickly. I know I really wanted to kind of drag this out because Chris will be glaring at me.
Yeah, this will be the last one we do. Go ahead.
I genuinely think this is relevant. If I can find it, he was asking something about if you don't like the product of a sponsor, would you still have them as a sponsor?
No.
Well, no. Wait. It depends. It depends.
Yeah,
on how broad based that supplier is. If it's a single product from, let's say, Record Power. Let's say they put out the scroll saw that you didn't like, Jamie. Does that mean that their band saws are crap, or that their other stuff is crap, or their lathes are crap? No, it doesn't. I mean, it just means that one product wasn't up to par. Would I automatically kick them out and never do anything with them again? No. If I was in a position to do that, I wouldn't do that. I would just say I felt like this was junk, but I think that's quality.
Yeah. If on the other hand it was a brand that only had one product. And I'll pick on Glyn because Glyn was chatting. Glyn's got he's got two products, but they're so alike. You could almost consider them being the same product because they both do the same job. It's not like one's a lathe and the other's an abrasive. In that instance, if it was a company that only had one product, I didn't like the product. Well, yeah, I would kind of not have them as a sponsor because why would you? That goes against everything we've said up until now. Interestingly enough, and the reason I kind of picked on that was one of the companies that does support my channel is a company from Spain called Pia. They make clamps. They're available in the US through Rockler, I believe.
And they make quality clamps too. I don't mind telling you.
Their clamps are better than Bessie's. They make Bessie look like an elastic band and a piece of string. Honestly, they are phenomenal.
But again, you pay for them.
Yeah, they're not particularly.
Cheap.
They're priced about the same as the Bessies. They're not dissimilar. So if you're into Bessie, then actually, to me, anyway, I'm not selling them. They have a band clamp, a metal band clamp, and I really don't like it. It does the job. Don't get me wrong. It's not that it's a poor I just don't like the product. I just don't get on with it. And for that, I pick the Bessie clamp. It's as simple as that. And it goes a long way to explain the company ethos, actually. It's a good point that I was going to get to. When you tell a company that, if they go, well, okay, well, we might have to read. That, to me, sets alarm bells thinking. I said this to Pia, and they went, "Okay, fine. We've got like 100 other types of clamps, and you don't like one of them. Okay,
that's fine.
Don't use that one. Use all the others.
We're still winning this ball game. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and when you get a company responds with that kind of an attitude,
you're working with a good company.
Then that to me is like, well, hang on a minute, they've got some real. Thing. I'll talk about it after the show. A funny little story, actually, if people are interested about using their clamps to break up hardcore and rubble. But I won't say too much now because it's quite an amusing.
Because it's time for Jamie to sing anyway. So
Jamie... has he not done it? I thought he.
No. Your internet fixed itself just at the right time.
Blasted technology. Go on then, hurry up.
Go, Jamie.
Right, it's time for Jamie's page.
Yay.
So we haven't actually got that much to talk about this week, so I'm just going to mention about stickers. So with the unknown of Maker Central, is it a yay or a nay at the moment? Just in case, we've got £20 off at checkout on stickers. So you can go to makersinternationalpodcast.com and then go to the tab that says stickers, and it'll redirect you to our website. You go through all the spiel, and you can get your £20 off at checkout.
Well, I know that £20 in the UK is worth like $25 or $28 here in the
around that thereabouts.
Yeah, and all I'm going to tell you is that's a lot of beer, guys. I mean, if you can save that money for, well, maybe you have other uses, but for me, that's the way I think of things. Anyway, go ahead.
So now on to my my shout out. I'm not sure how to pronounce his first. I'm not sure if it's Aaron or Aaron. It's Ahron, but it's Aaron or Aaron and African meat.
Aaron African meat. Okay.
Yep. So he's a wood turner that he uses a lot of resin in his projects. But this time he made a crisscross apple pie. He basically put a load of slices in a chunk of wood, filled it with clear resin, and then turned it. It come out really nice. So yeah, Aaron or Aaron African meat.
Awesome.
So
Richard, hit us. What do you got?
Very quickly, my shout out this week. Yeah, I've shouted this chap out again. I can never get the name right. Young G, Young J-E, makes some awesome hand planes. Absolutely, I love watching his videos. They're awesome. It's a little low angle rebate block plane, and it's something that I really want to make one of those eventually one day, perhaps if I feel I'm good enough. But yeah, really good video, really cool tool as well. So,
all right, mine is. And first of all, I want to say I'm bummed, just because this whole thing that's been going on this year and everything that's been going on. There weren't a lot of Halloween videos out this week. And do you remember when back in the day, everybody was doing some sort of a Halloween video? And I happen to absolutely love Halloween, so I kind of missed that, and so I cried a little bit. But anyway, I got a shout out. It's kind of stupid, but it's for the kids. And my shout out today is from NASA. NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, actually put this video out, and I laughed just because they did. But it's actually pretty cool. If you want to get together with your kids and make something that's stupid and fun, this is cool. They did a video on how to make your own Falcon 9 straw rocket. A straw, and the rocket goes up. Anyway. If you got kids and you want to, and they're stuck at home, which apparently is going to happen across several countries in Europe relatively soon, then you may want to find things to amuse them with. This would be a good project. It would take you like 5 minutes to do it. So NASA, how to build a straw rocket. Give that a look-see.
Caitlin said that hers tonight is Halloween themed, which is at 11:15, and my premiere is at 11 o'clock.
What would we do if you guys didn't promote yourself?
I know, right?
I don't know. I'd feel like I wasn't wearing underwear. Anyway. Oh, wait, I'm not. Anyway, Richard, let's wrap this up if you don't mind, please, sir.
Oh, and you say I just got an email from MakeSpace saying it's equipment access only.
Nobody cares. Richard, you're rambling. Nobody cares. All right, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, thank you for coming on and joining us today. Because Richard, do your thing, please.
I'm going to sulk now because I can't get a MakeSpace. Not playing. It's not fair. Anyway, so yes, thank you for joining us. If you are still with us, then why? I didn't even manage to make the whole show anyway. Chris is going to tell me off if I can't keep talking much longer. So until next week when we talk about something else, possibly you, if you're not here, you take care.
Have a great week, everybody.
Take it easy, everyone.